So I am back from TFcon. Oh my god, I don't even have my voice, but I am going to power through the next couple of days, and to make up for the fact that I've been absent for a while because of rocking out over there, I am going to put it through a bunch of segments, and there was a lot of news over the weekend, and I figured I might as well catch up a little bit and give you guys a bunch of segments over the next couple of days. It's kind of the makeup for the for the absence. What we're going to talk about right now is just TFcon's new location that has been announced, and just to go through a little bit of a thank you and some of the stuff that happened at TFCon and just all the fun that was to be had there. So first of all, let's talk about the next date. So March 20th, 2020 to the 22nd is going to be TFCon, and it is headed to Florida. Now, that area, the last time it's had anything of a Transformer convention was 9 years ago in 2010 with BotCon. BotCon 2010, the G2 year. They did it at Florida at the Disney location. It was the very first Hall of Fame dinner, and it was a big thing. And so that area has not had a Transformer anything. And even just the general area, like the Mid-South or even going even a little more north, they just has had nothing in a long, long time, like just empty. And they're going to be having this show here, and it's going to be at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel that's near the entrance of the Universal Orlando Studios Florida lot and everything. So for a lot of people, this could also be double as a vacation. If they come a week early, they could bring their family. So it's pretty good from one perspective, if they want to do that. Obviously, some people from the West Coast were expecting a West Coast announcement, but I think that this is similar to the fact that West Coast was visited because they also had an absence of Transformer conventions for a while because of Fun Publication not doing a location there for a bit. Although, to be fair, Fun Pub would hit Pasadena and San Diego quite a few times during those mid to late 2000s. So, Florida's getting finally something back after a 9-year gap, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. There might be some future changes and some popping around, but again, this is what it is for March 20th to the 22nd. It's pretty exciting. As always, I will be there, and should prove interesting. I already did some looking around, like with Google Street Maps and stuff for like stuff that's around. There's food to grab. There's a lot of stuff. It's actually better than the Disney situation with BotCon, because with the Disney situation with BotCon, there really wasn't anything you could do because you were stuck on the lot. And if you didn't have a car, which 99% of people who would go to BotCon flew in, you were pretty much stuck there, and food was expensive. But this one, it looks like there's actually a lot of stuff that's walkable, that's affordable. And I believe there's even a Walgreens nearby. So even if you need like a cheap bag of chips or something, it's not a big deal. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about was one of the exclusives at TFCon that wasn't announced initially, that even staff and people who were dealers and all that, we had no idea. We had no idea that this was happening. And it was that of the Pharaoh. Pharaoh done by the Sphinx mold by Mastermind Creations. Anyone that came to the premium premium package pickup while I was there with Boris and the crew, they built a nice big pyramid of it. It was a really cool exclusive. It's one of the ones that when I saw it, I was like, I have to get this. I'm not big on third party, but when they do weird, wacky stuff like that, and the box was just so cool. It's like a sarcophagus and everything. I had to get it. So that was really cool. I don't know if anyone's selling it on in the second, because it sold out very quickly, and I don't know if anyone's selling it on eBay, so you should probably check for that. I know I'm not selling mine, so but yeah, that one's really cool. Definitely check on eBay over the next couple of days. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up somewhere. I guess type TFcon DC 2019 and just see what comes up. Next thing is just I want to just say thank you. I just made this list. If I forget someone, I'm so sorry. I really am. I tried to make a proper list on the airplane coming back to make sense of all this. This recording, by the way, is happening at 7 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday. because I'm just trying to get my bearings together. So I want to just thank Azusa, Hide, Bacho-san, hooking me up with a whole bunch of gifts. They come from Japan, and they just give me so many presents and stuff. Like, they gave me a copy of Ishigawa's reissue of the manga, which I promoted on my Twitter, if you saw. Ishigawa did a new print of his old classic manga, Doshin, and so it was really cool to get a copy all these years later. And Bancho Hide, he was behind it all. Azusa being such a cool dude. He also hooked me up with some, again, on my Twitter, I was showing Azusa with all this amazing Master Force line art. Well, here's the thing. He gave that to me as a gift. I just wanted him to take a photo with it because it looked badass. So that was really cool of him, getting all that Master Force line art. And then he gave me all kinds of weird Japanese oddities, bootlegs and paperwork and books and stuff. All this stuff that I just eat up for my little Transformer library of history. So thank you so much, Azusa. Like, you're such a cool dude. I love that guy. I've known him for so long, and every year it's always presents and stuff. And even gave stuff to like Aaron Archer and other guys too. Like, he's just such an awesome dude. Another thanks to Pete and Jesse from BotCon, or Pete's Robot Convention. Yeah, they were. Well, Pete was there. Pete was there in full force, and he brought something that Jesse brought with also. And they got me some cool stuff. I finally got the bio card for the golden ticket exclusive Flash Century that I wrote the bio for all those years ago. So he hooked me up with that finally. Jesse hooked me up with a plushie of Rodimus, and he drew me a little Rodimus sketch. It was actually a Shattered Glass Rodimus sketch. So thank Jesse. It made me laugh. Like, that's so cool. It's always nice to know that there's, people out there. And again, imagine, at BotCon people at a TFcon convention, and we all just get along and have a great time and even get presents from each other. So it's really cool. Big thanks to, again, Aaron Archer. We've been doing panels together for a couple of years now, and we do those little workshops and stuff, which, by the way, was awesome. It sold out, and it was way better than we expected. A lot of interaction, a lot of cool stuff, creating a toy line. I was actually I was there originally just to if the creative juices needed to be flown, I was there to help also instigate that. But people were doing such a great job that I just kind of sat there quietly most of it, just going wow, okay, good stuff going on here. And again, Aaron, what could be said about Aaron? Aaron's an awesome dude. He hooked up me, Larry, and fellow podcaster Wendell Jaws D with some great kaiju art at the end. He was like, "Hey, pick one, guys." Aaron's always awesome guy. Anyone that saw this weekend, we were always hanging out and stuff like we always do. So great dude. Kind of segue also to where Aaron was hanging out. Big thanks to Lay and Melissa. They threw an amazing party during the evening of TFcon. One of the things about TFcon, it's not so much about the stuff that happens during the day, like the panels, the dealer room, the custom classes and all the little events. It's also in the evening when people hang out and the fandom gets together and rubs elbows and has a good time. And Lay and Melissa threw this amazingly huge, cool party with had blacklight, it had custom drinks called the Energon and the Matrix. And Mirai Baby, who was someone who was absent in the fandom for many years, she came back, and she was the bartender for the bar. It was such a great time, and a lot of TFcon staff was there. Aaron Archer came. It was a really good time. Everyone being loud, talking over each other. Just good time. Just a good time. Telling old war stories. Good stuff. Again, stuff that I love about TFcon more than anything. Another one that I want to thank is Slade. Slade helped me with the trivia this year. The thing with trivia is that usually trivia is something that we reserve solely for TFcon Toronto. And it's kind of been absent as a thing for TFcon USA, any of the locations we do there. Primarily because while in Toronto, I kind of have time to plan it in and I'm not running around as much. And not to mention I'm not flying to Toronto, so I don't have jet lag. There's not, I have the energy to do it. But this year, I had Slade with me, and Slade would host it, and so I just wrote like I think 50 to 100 questions, and we did a theme, and that was awesome, and it went very well for the first one of the USA shows to have a trivia. It went very well. I know in the past we always tried to do some kind of evening content, like I did a video game competition one year. I forget which one that was. I think it was one of the Chicago ones. But yeah, so either way, like it was really cool for Slade to help me out with that. And he also had a whole bunch of cool pins that he gave me. He gave me a Rodimus pin and some stuff. So that was really cool of him. And, thanks to Slade for that. So, it's really nice to have someone pick up the slack when there probably wouldn't have been nothing at all if not for him. Thanks to Ages 3 and Up, Boris, Andy, and the whole crew. And again, to, creating Pharaoh and stuff. Those guys always are contributing heavily to a bulk of our awesome exclusives. I can't say enough about them, and I feel like every year I'm just constantly thanking them for bringing the awesome stuff and the creative ideas, and Pharaoh, who is a surprise to all of us, and I mean, it surprised all of us and ended up being my favorite exclusive of the weekend, if not for the G2 Mirage. That one too was pretty cool. I want to thank some people that came up to me over the weekend. I had a few fans that came by. The ones that I want to preface this one thing right now. A lot of people come up to me and thank me for like all the stuff that I do content-wise, YouTube, the podcast, writing, but they never say their names. It's kind of like they go, "Hey, I love what you do," and then they disappear into the crowd in the ether. And but for the ones that say their names, hey, I'm gonna remember. Cabal, MassiveGains, High Rhymes. Those guys came by. They said they loved what I do. And I really appreciate that. And I always try to direct them to Jaws D afterwards, and say, hey, let him know that what he does is not bad too. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for coming by. And High Rhymes, hooked me up with some presents. He gave me this like little Rodimus keychain. So that was really cool of him. Just awesome stuff. It's cool when that kind of stuff happens. It's really cool. Also want to thank, here's two weird ones, Bobby Skullface and Bolt Matrix for thanking me for stuff I probably don't even deserve. Both of them thanked me for stuff on their Twitter accounts. I was just like, I don't even know what the hell they're thanking me for. I know that I helped Bobby Skullface with his setup for his table for like 5 seconds, so I guess that deserves a thanks. But that's just me helping out dealers and stuff. So Bobby, hey, I hope you had a good time that weekend, Bobby. You and your family and your crew. You seemed like you had a really cool setup. So it needs an extra couple tables sometimes. Sometimes when I feel certain dealers have a lot of cool shit, they need to have 1 or 2 extra tables to really make that display pop. And Bolt Matrix, I didn't get to see you much, but I remember I was sitting in the dealer room during setup, and I just heard someone yell my name from like across the room, and I looked up from my phone. While helping Azuzo with stuff, and there was Bolt Matrix, and it was just like, oh, snap. Oh, hey, how you doing, brother? And I didn't get to see him much this weekend, because, again, like, there was those room parties and stuff that's just, like, I guess, kind of, like, separated me from I guess, people in the bars and everything. But, I mean, I tried to, people who are listening that's new, I would try to be around as much as I can. The good thing with that hotel, at least, there's not many places you could hide. So, like, there's a lot of different pockets of places where people would congregate, and I'd be like, hey, what's going on here, Oh, hey, you're playing with throttle bots, which people probably know what I'm talking about. It was always fun. So, yeah, Bobby Skullface, Bolt Matrix, thanks for the thanks that I got, I guess. You guys are great. I don't know what to say to that. And last but not least, just the volunteers and staff. Volunteers, Ultra Primal, who's our photographer, and he also helps with our AV back in Toronto. Maddie, Lita, all the other volunteers that I got to talk to briefly this weekend and see how they were doing. We always need those guys to keep the convention running strongly. And 2 staff members that I want to point out more than any other staff member. Michelle, our panel queen, who handles all our panels. Michelle has been with TFcon as long as I have, practically, and just always been consistently. And I want to point out John and Michelle specifically. John's our registration booth guy, because those are 2 people that all the time during the convention, they are stuck in those environments. John in the registration booth and Michelle in the panel room. And so they are there the entire time, and at no point do they really get to enjoy the convention. And both of them are massive Transformer fans. John, I have gone to multiple BotCons with and roomed with him. And for him, even John, Michelle, at least she, being the panel queen and the panel organizer, she gets to at least sit in the panel room and enjoy the content from it. John is at the front desk. He doesn't get to be in the dealer room. He doesn't get to be in the panel room. He doesn't get to be in the artist alley. He doesn't get to sit next to a guest and be his liaison. He sits there at registration and gets you your tickets and gets you your bags, and that's it. And he does that for the entire duration of the show. And just give John a big thanks. John deserves it heavily because he really is a machine, man. And he's the salt of the earth. He's such an awesome guy. And, just give a big thanks to him because he is like someone who has sacrificed so much of his time to make this convention function with nothing given back, really. So next time you see him, please, he's the guy with the glasses, white dude with the guy with the glasses. He's always like super friendly, like super customer service when you get your badge stuff. If you ever see him in future shows, just say thank you for all your hard work and stuff. Because I can't say it enough, and sometimes it's better to hear it from people more than just my ugly face. So, big thing. And that's pretty much it. I know I'm forgetting people, but it's just if I'm forgetting, I'm so sorry, but it's like I am going on fumes here. I promised you guys I'm going to try to record a few more things news-wise that happened over the weekend, and then I'm going to go into a coma. And, yeah. And so over the next 2 days, you're going to get kind of a dump of news of stuff. So just to make up for the 3 days that I've been absent, or 4 days or so. But it was a tiring flight, and I call it the red eye because it's just like you're. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. TFcon was awesome, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the great state of Florida in 4 months from now.